Welcome back to the Janaea Netball Centre for round 5 of the Under-20s Premier League. Tonight, it's the GWS Fury and Eastwood Ride Hawks on the Showcourt. 6th v 3rd, with just 2 rounds left before we hit the midpoint of the 2018 season. For the Hawks, tonight gives them an opportunity to push up into the top 2 on the ladder. North Shore United in first place are playing the Stingrays in second place on another court. So with a win tonight, they could seal second spot. Meanwhile, the Fury, could this be their night? After a brilliant start here on the Showcourt last week, they fell to the UTS Sparks by 12 goals. So tonight gives them a chance to right the wrongs from that match. Both teams heading out onto the court. I'm Brittany Carter. With us in expert comments tonight is Swift star Sophie Garvin. Hello, Sophie.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm excited. My first game of Premier League forever. So I'm really excited. Normally I'm up there standing their tickets before they come in, but tonight I'm taking it courtside.
You get to see all the action tonight. Yeah. All right, we'll just quickly run through the teams as we see the Hawks make a surge up towards their goal ends. For the Hawks tonight, Jenny Webster has selected Sophie Dwyer in goal shooter, Rhiannon Stokes in goal attack, Hannah Victor in wing attack, Luana Akafalau in centre, Chelsea Lockery, the captain, is in wing defence, Taylor Walker in goal defence, and Hayley Mason in goalkeeper. There's a lot of support here for the Hawks tonight. You just heard it with that first goal, and it was a GWS centre to kick us off, so that's a good start for them. For the Fury, we see Kath Tetley, coach, select Kasia Chignetti in goal shooter, Emily Dunn with her in goal attack, Monique Clifton in wing attack, Taylor Flood, the captain, in centre, Alicia Parrott in wing defence, Sarah Ockenbaugh in goal defence, and Violet Wetstein in goalkeeper. So we're finally seeing the Fury head up their end, Sophie. They've been stopped every time they've tried so far.
Yeah, the Hawks have really gotten off to a great start. They turned over that first centre pass straight away, scored the goal quite quickly, and then a quick one on their centre pass as well. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they try and hold up that pressure for the rest of the night.
There we go, on the board. A deficit now 1, able to convert their second centre pass. You see the Hawks pushing up fast now. Quick work between the shooters.
Yeah, the Hawks are looking good already tonight, so it's going to be a tough game for the Fury.
They've got 2 strong shooters for them, tall as well, and Rhiannon Stokes and Sophie Dwyer.
Yeah, I played with Sophie Dwyer actually in A&L when I dropped down a couple of weeks ago, so that's nice to see her out on court.
And how did she go?
She didn't get on.
All right.
But she was cheering me on, so it was okay. At least one Sophie was on court.
Working hard now. The GWS Fury have started to really amp up their defence. And ERNA have had to take the long way to the circle, but they get it through the hoop, up by 3.
Very direct from the Hawks.
Plenty of support here tonight for them too. There's so much blue on the sideline.
Yeah, I just bumped into them girls at the cafe actually. They're the rep teams and they were pretty excited. They asked me if I was Sophie from the Swiss.
Are you?
I said, yes, I am.
Any photographs, any autographs?
No, I didn't have time. I had to grab my coffee and get down here.
Priorities, huh? Clifton, long ball into the pocket, and Dunn's got it. She'll be gifted a little push up towards the hoop. Makes no mistake, down by 2, the Fury. Clifton coming through the middle.
The Hawks are making it hard. Oh,
lovely feed. Chignetti up and through. Sophie Dwyer misses, a little way out. Fury just pushing up the outside channel. Clifton goes over the top. Cignetti forced to pop up to the top of the circle. Mason coming through. Little late with the contact. Lovely shot by Emily Dunn. Within, well, level, 5-all.
And Fury's centre pass, so they'll be wanting to make sure they get this one through.
As a young player, it must be hard when there's so much support on the sideline to get your head in the game so quickly and just switch on.
Yeah, and especially coming on, I've been coming on off the bench, so it's you've really got to stay focused the whole game, even when you're on the sidelines, watching the game and watching who you might be coming on against. So yeah.
Aka Flower with the free pass for the Hawks. Sophie Dwyer pops it over to Hannah Victor, and she'll give a lovely feed back. So it's Hannah Victor's first game in Premier League. It's her debut tonight. She's a New South Wales under-17s player this year and went away for nationals but had a little quad strain when she was away. So she's just taken her time to get in for this season. A Borkham Hills junior, so from the same association as Christina Bryce.
Yes.
And she's very fit. We've seen her cut and drive a lot tonight. Oh, lucky Sophie Dwyer with the hands. Could have gone to either goalkeeper or shooter then.
Yeah, I know. Shooter though. Always the shooter.
I love when we have shooters on. They're always so confident in their ability.
Yeah. Good job. Oh, nice footwork by Sophie there, getting around. Quick hands. Oh.
Working the circle, and we see Stokes pick up the rebounds. Loud and proud, these Hawks fans. Quick ball, Clifton, Cignetti. Oh, decides to offload. Dunn's underneath the post. And won't miss from there. The early nerves have gone for the Fury. Oh, Victor trying to go on the transverse line. Good context from Flood.
Fury's defense has definitely picked up. The Hawks aren't getting it as easily to the post.
Up and through. Stokes shooting from all angles, all ranges. Flood calling for someone. Long feed again. Obviously you're for the shooter, Sophie, but if you were the Hawks keeper in this situation, they've fed to Cignetti the same way a number of times now. How would you be preventing that pass?
Yeah, I think just coming off the body and changing up what you're doing. I think once the shooter knows you're doing the same thing every time and they're beating you, they're just going to keep doing the same thing. So changing it off, maybe starting front, starting back, coming off the body a bit, yeah, and having a crack at the ball.
Walker gives it to Lockery. The captain has to go back.
Fury really putting the pressure on in this transition.
Wow.
And they force a turnover.
Cross court they go. Switching it up. Flood.
Oh,
Done.
nice screen.
Waiting on the baseline. Evens it up, 9 apiece.
It's a nice shooting combination in the Fury goal circle.
Cut and dry from Dunn for the centre pass. She pops it up and over to the pocket. Flood. Easy feed. Perhaps the Hawks could try more of a zone defence rather than man-on-man and just put some doubt in the shooter's mind about the space that's free.
Yeah, definitely. I think this game, by the looks of it, is just going to be one that they're going to have to grind out, and, you know, it's probably going to come down to the last quarter.
It'll make for good viewing back home.
Yeah.
We won't be complaining, that's for sure. The girls might be. Oh, little tip. Stokes turning from attack to defence. Oh, can she finish the effort? She can.
Great transition by the Hawks.
So the Fury were up for the first time by 1 goal. Hawks come back. Stuck for an option. Dunn eventually comes free for the centre pass. They're stagnant. Timing. Chignetti to Dunn.
Oh.
Nobody gets the rebound. Hawks throw in. Lockery goes back to Mason, pushing up into the midcourt. Akafalau.
Oh, good defense.
They've clawed their way back, got the ball back. Victor.
Oh, lovely intercept.
It's become physical this match.
It's a bit like tennis at the moment, back and forth. Hopefully Fury can... Oh,
Stokes again coming up with the intercept. And just creating nice position. Take the shot.
long bomb.
Little tip from GWS, applies the pressure. And the call goes Fury's way.
Victor not happy with that call either.
She has a face that just tells you everything, doesn't it? She would be very good at poker. Ball up and over. Clifton's got a little tip. Out the sideline. Hawks throw in. Mason to Parrott. Victor gets it back. Unhappy that she had to do extra work there. Ockenball goes lateral. Stokes to Dwyer.
She doesn't want to shoot that long one.
Yeah, a bit of hesitation.
Yeah.
Having watched a lot of Dwyer's shots in the past, I'm surprised by that. Maybe a little bit of doubt considering she missed some early attempts. Really good contest between Clifton and Lockery. So the Hawks up by 2 with 3.5 left to play in this first quarter. Akafalau, Dwyer.
Oh, lovely connection. Oh.
Stokes trying to keep her balance and the ball in play. Puts a shot up, but it's not a good one. Fury. Eager to turn this into points. Flood pops it over. Clifton. Quick feed, too quick.
Just missed connection there.
Well, it's loud on the sidelines, but it's pretty quiet on court. Hawks doing double time with these passes here in the penalties. Dwyer gives it to Akafalau, edge of the circle. Tip. Wetstein was everywhere last week in the first quarter, and she's just brought her name up then. Dunn goes back to Flood. Up and over, swing. He's in the triangle. Ball ends up with Chignetti and through the hoop. Stokes straight through.
Oh, lovely centre pass.
She's been rather unchallenged, Stokes, so far.
Yeah, it looks like she's running around the court quite freely. Not much pressure on her at all.
So a quick change for the Hawks. Lockery moving into centre. We've got another plane coming on the wing defence position. Clifton. Ball ends up with Chignetti. Free pass or shot. Lovely work. Stokes. Parrott. Dwyer coming out. Offloads to Victor. Stuck for an option. Her eyes just darting everywhere. Lockery, edge of the circle. Dwyer.
A minute left in the first quarter.
So Kaylin Rush is the player that's come on in wing defence for the Hawks.
Yeah, interesting to see a change with 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
Jenny Webster's mentioned she's not afraid to make those early changes if she doesn't think something's working, but so far both sides have been pretty good, so she's obviously seeing something we're not. .11 seconds on the clock. Hawks with a centre pass left. Victor calling for people to come forward.
They're going to have to go straight into the post.
Dwyer, long way out, puts, nice work by Akumbor. She'll take the shot. Size from the Hawks bench. And that'll be it for the first quarter. Up by 3. ERNA leading GWS Fury. And a good match this is shaping up to be, Sophie.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't expect this to be the score against 3rd and 6th, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
So, no, the Giants have definitely, Fury have come out to play the colours, sorry.
It's really hard not to make that connection, it really is.
Yeah.
All right, so taking a look at the ladder, obviously after round 4 last week, this is how it stands. So North Shore United on top, Sutherland Stingrays in 2nd spot, which is really interesting because the 2 of those teams are playing up on another court tonight. That's out of our view, unfortunately. In 3rd spot, we've got the ERNA Hawks on the Showcourt here tonight. Central Coast Heart are in 4th. The UTS Sparks, champions from last year, are in 5th spot. GWS Fury on the Showcourt tonight here too, in the orange dress in 6th. The Panthers 7th and the Manly Warringah Sapphires in 8th. So Helen Houseby was on the special comments last week, and her pick for the match was Emily Dunn. So she just came back on in the 4th quarter after having a little bit of a rest and sunk some goals early, just didn't really get enough service into the circle. They were her comments. So keep an eye on Emily Dunn tonight. She's a talent.
Definitely will.
How's everything going with the Swifts?
Yeah, good. We've had a short week this week, so we were on court Tuesday and tonight, and then we've got a day off tomorrow. So, yeah, it'll be nice to get a bit of a rest, and then we're back in Friday, and then play Saturday at the Key Centre just next door. So that should be a good game against the Vixens. It was a close one last time, so hopefully we'll be able to get the win this time. Yeah,
you go from one old rivalry to another in having faced the Firebirds, last round, and now coming up against the Vixens. I think what's really interesting about the matchup between yourself and the Vixens is that you're both really young sides, so it must be quite interesting into what happens there.
Yeah, definitely. And they are, although they're quite young, they are a very experienced side, with a few diamonds in their lineup, and their shooting circle's pretty impressive as well. So they're going to be a tough one to beat, but we're definitely up for it.
And Renee Ingles back as well.
Yeah.
Makes things a little bit more extra interesting.
Yeah, I know. We haven't really talked too much about that this week, so no, it will be interesting to see how that does change the dynamic of their team, and potentially Emily Mannix could be out as well with a finger injury, so we're not too sure about that, but doesn't matter who turns up on the day.
That's
we'll
right.
Just have to, sort it out when we get there.
The old coach's cliche, worry about yourself before the other team first.
Yeah.
So let's just go back a little bit and we'll take a look at your game against the Firebirds. So in the match report, they described it as an ugly win for the Firebirds, which I think pretty much summed it up because it was a really gritty game. I was watching this one from home, and I mean, the difference in each quarter was nothing. But at the end, those 3 goals, unfortunately, were the difference.
Yeah, it was a very tough game, and I think credit to our defenders, they did everything they probably could especially going up against Gretel and Romelda, and we just unfortunately couldn't convert, silly mistakes, missing shots, and in the end that's got us. So it's a bit disappointing to know that we could have got the win there, but yeah.
I think one of the hardest things to factor in too is obviously the Firebirds came out of that game with 7 points, and you guys only got 1, even though it was so close. So this new point system is really changing things. And
yeah, definitely.
If it's for the better, we don't know yet. But what are your views on it?
Look, I was 100% against it at the start of the season before we started, and then, I was okay with it. But now, when we're have more wins than other teams and we're sitting 6th, it's pretty frustrating for us. So, we're just going to have to wait. But the nature of it is we're sitting 6th at the moment, but we could go next week and we could be, this weekend we could be back in the top 4. So
that's right.
You just
it's
never
so
know.
Tight.
Yeah.
We're seeing people jump 2 places at once sometimes just because those points are really creating such a big factor and making everyone even more closer, it seems, than it would just be with a normal win.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll come back to that at half-time. But right now, we're 1 goal difference. The Hawks up over the Fury. So Hawks are yet to score. Fury 2 goals on the board coming back from the first break. And I think that's probably a good idea from them to come out early and just stamp themselves on this match because they started a bit slow in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And with a quality team like the Hawks, we've seen in the first quarter they can score really quickly. So you don't want to get too far behind them.
Sophie Dwyer just using Lockery. Oh, lovely feed into Stokes. Oh, ball pops out. Dwyer looking to make something of the missed opportunity. Stokes get another chance. Doesn't miss this time. First goal of this second quarter. 16-15, they lead the Fury. And we've seen Anna Naunge come on in centre for the Fury since that first quarter. Little tip. Across the transverse 9, working lateral. Oh,
lovely ball.
What about that feed?
Like a bullet.
Victor strong out for the centre pass. Stokes loses the ball. It'll be a replay. Those ones are tough. As soon as you let it go, you know that you're going to be pulled up for it.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. Fury are going to want to convert this one.
Nice ball. Mid-court to goal third. Naunge. Oh, again. So the centre that's just come on is Fee Jean, and she has a lot of flair about her game. That's one of the great things about her presence at the Fury because you just never know what you're going to get. Very unpredictable, hard to defend. Clifton, stuck. Oh, little tip from Mason is all worth it. Hawks force a turnover and they're moving up quick through the inner channel here. Swinging across the circle, they'll come back to Stokes. Missed. GWS. Well,
fast transition.
Doing well on the rebounds. Back into the mid-court. Nice to see them smiling while they're playing. We've got to enjoy it. I think that's been one of the great things about the Swifts this year. You can tell you guys are really enjoying yourselves out on court.
Yeah, definitely. It is. We've said a lot that we actually do get along off the court. Great intercept. Yeah, we get along off the court, which is rare in high performance teams. So it's really nice, and every week we just get to play netball with our friends like we were when we were around this age. So it's great.
Do you think that helps having so many young players in the side because you're sort of same stages of life, same stages in your netballing career?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely works for our group. There's no big guns in our team. Maybe Helen Housby, she's a Commonwealth medalist,
say, gold medalist.
But no big gun personalities, I guess I'd say. Or probably myself, actually. I'd like to talk myself up a bit. But, no, it does work for us. And, no one thinks they're better than anyone else. So, it's good. And especially in a team like ours where we do make a lot of changes, it works well.
Oh, how's the feed? Stokes. Ready and waiting. Just getting the upper hand on Ockenbaugh at the moment. Done. Stuck for an option. Little tip. Mason doing really well to disrupt the play of the Fury. Top of the circle. She's got no options. Clifton will pick up a free pass on the edge. Cignetti working hard. Dunn popping out the back. They've lost it. Hawks on the crumbs. Direct shoulder passes happening all over the court. Lockery uses the pocket in Victor. Running through. Little way out. Stokes.
Long bomb. Oh.
Tip from GWS. Sees a Hawks throw in. Dwyer goes over to Victor. Stokes alone and waiting. Both the Fury defenders moved the wrong side of the post. Just dragged him with a little fake. Walker, long arms have done. Straight to Dwyer in the middle. Lockery, edge, feeds. 1-2. 19-18. This is a close match.
Yeah, definitely is. I think it's definitely going to go down to the wire.
Is there something that either of these teams are doing that's impressing you at the moment?
I think the Fury have just come out this second quarter and really been direct, and they just look like they wanted a little bit more than the Hawks at the moment. They're definitely not playing like they're in sixth position.
Well, they came out flying last week on the Showcourt against the UTS Sparks, and unfortunately just lost the momentum and their ability to adapt on court. We actually saw 3 changes to their starting lineup this week as a result. And a few changes since then. Stokes quick work, almost running to Dwyer. Nice footwork. Now Unge knew where it was going to Clifton. Direct pass, strong pass, done. Transverse line. Clifton goes up and over, nice feed. Cignetti running back, collects it, gathers it, puts it through. 20 apiece. It's interesting what you say about the Fury coming out and really going for it this quarter, but the score is still level.
Yeah, well, now that I've said that, the Hawks are really are showing up. Oh,
intercept from Walker. We go back. Lovely ball skills, Noonge. Great wrist work. Able to pull balls in way above her head. Lockery forced to go back to Walker. She'll go round the body to Victor now. Stuck for an option. Although they get a free pass here. Victor, transverse line. Oh, challenge. Great matchup between the wing defence and the centre. Force further back. Split stance, Stokes, baseline. Easy does it, 22-21, 5 minutes before half-time. Contact from Rush. It was an obvious one. Monique Clifton, a really hard attacker to defend because she's just so fast
and she doesn't stop running, does she?
and so tiny.
Yeah, but she also holds really well, uses her body really well. So
short, sharp bursts of power. Long ball, Victor to Stokes. She feeds. Oh.
Good pressure.
Turnover, Wetstein doing enough.
Oh.
That was a bad pass. Eyes were looking at the Fury player, but ball went the other way. Little tip, can't keep it in play. Fury throw in. Foot on the line?
Yeah. Yep.
Can't let that happen in this level of netball.
Yeah, that's what they call a coach killer.
Lockery sees it. Great vision. Perfect feed. Still only a goal difference. Dunn left alone for the centre pass.
Oh.
Unfortunate for Mason, the timing was just off. Clifton quick. Cignetti, strong hands, hangs on to it.
Timing was off, but it's good to have confidence and come out and have a crack at that ball because I bet the wing attack's going to think twice next time she goes.
Just putting a little bit of fear in her mind.
Yeah.
Parrott taking the shot. Oh, the pass, I should say. Confident, Dunn takes it to the post. Up by 1, the Fury. Pretty good turnaround. They were down by 3 at the first break. Ockenbaugh gives it to Dunn. She's on the transverse line. Back, forward, Clifton. Feeds. Split stance from Cignetti in front.
Oh.
Misses. Contact. Mason with the penalty. 2 minutes on the clock. A lot of yelling being done on court. Step. Back and forward. Tennis is happening here. You're right, Sophie.
Fury need to take care of this one. Make sure they convert it.
Oh, done. Fingertips. Able to keep the ball in play. Up by 2, the Fury. Hawks centre pass. Good chase. Victor and Parrott going head to head. And this time Dwyer.
On the hold, see, it's good to see how she's mixing up coming out, and on the hold that keeps the goalkeeper guessing.
Mixing up roles between the two shooters.
Yeah.
Oh, done. Ready and waiting. Lovely feed.
Umpire was nearly going to call 3 seconds then.
Turnover from Stokes. Oh, almost a turnover, it seems. Dwyer goes back to the midcourt. Walker. Victor still calling for someone to come forward. I feel like she's done that every time she's got the ball. Dwyer comes back edge of the circle. Can't feed. Ockenbaugh in the middle. Big ball. Parrott done. Naunge calmly to Clifton. Over the top of Mason. Into the hands of Cignetti and through the hoop. Up by 3, the Fury. This is a pretty good turn around. Switching up the momentum. And they've put the pedal down at the right moment, just before half-time.
Yeah, definitely, and they seem to be finishing, well, now that I say that, they've just turned over, finishing off their centre passes.
2 defenders, can't shake Sophie Dwyer. Little bubble through the hoop. We'll take a 2-goal difference heading into halftime. Fury up over the Hawks 27-25. What was the difference with the Fury that quarter, Sophie?
I just think on the centre pass work, their wing attack, was it Clifton?
Yes.
Yeah, Monique Clifton. She did a lot of work for them then, and even in long court transition, she was really driving their attack, and I think that just flowed and lifted everyone's energy. So it'll be interesting to see if she can keep that intensity for the rest of the game, because that was pretty good.
Monique Clifton's a really interesting story, actually. She was playing Div 4 for Blacktown last year and then worked her guts out, just made the decision to have a red hot go after the netball season and realised she really needed to do the simple things well if she was going to make a name for herself in netball. So just waiting for the PA system. She's a really great success story because from that she's now made the New South Wales under-17s team. She's been picked up by the Fury and she's playing Premier League here tonight. So to go from Div 4 at Blacktown to come up to this, that's pretty remarkable in such a short space of time.
Yeah, definitely. It's and what they say, what's that saying? Hard work beats talent.
Yep.
So she's been playing very well tonight, and that's a great story. Div 4 last year, state team. So hopefully it's only up from here for her.
Yeah, her coach describes her as a real workhorse and not just doing it on natural talent. So that speaks about the saying you just used for her. All right, what about the Hawks? What are they doing? Or what can they do a little bit better just to ensure that the Fury aren't keeping up as much with them?
I think just being patient when they do turn the ball over. We've seen a bit of tennis going on back and forth. So just being patient because they do have the ability to score really quickly when they're patient, their timing's on, they're letting the ball go. They can score in 10 seconds off a centre pass, we've seen. But, yeah, I think it's still a close one. I mean, they're not doing too bad. They're only 2 goals down. And
that's
I think
right.
we've still got another half a netball to go. So it'll be interesting to see the second half and how both teams hold out.
Well, what's really interesting about the Hawks is that they had a pretty good win last week, and Jenny Webster still said they weren't completely happy with it. You know, they were disappointed in their performance. I think they won by 6 goals in the end. Yeah, 6 goals up against Manly, 53-47, and they've only lost 1 game. So, you know, they're doing pretty well in 3rd spot at the moment, and they were disappointed with that loss. So they've obviously got high expectations for themselves and a chance to right those wrongs tonight. Just looking back at Super Netball, Sophie, some of the other results from last round, we saw the grand final rematch from 2017 end up a draw. Did you happen to catch any of that?
Yeah, actually, I was watching that. Me and Claire O'Brien, we were roomies this week in Queensland, so we were watching that on the Netball Live app, and yeah, that was a really good game, really close game. I think any team could have won that as well, and that's the thing with Super Netball this year. I know it's cliche and everyone's saying it, but you don't know who's going to win every single week. It's that's why the ladder is being so crazy and up and down. But it's good for the, I guess, viewing, but not as good for us because because we're seeing 6, and we've already lost 3 games. So that's what you can't predict anything this year.
It's actually the first draw this season. So I wonder if the bonus points and all the quarter points are factoring into that. I mean, nobody likes to draw if they're going for the result, but it is an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for us, we're trying to take the focus off the bonus points and, focus on getting the wins. So obviously it hasn't worked too well for us at the moment. I know we've been winning games, but not as such winning many quarters. So I think as well when we played the Adelaide Thunderbirds, there was a lot of pressure in that game. I think that we put on ourselves, and I think that maybe other people might have put on us because they hadn't got a bonus point yet. And I think we were so worried about not giving them bonus points that we we were so close and stressed in the game. So I thought once we
Thinking
gave them
about the wrong things.
once we gave them a bonus point, I was like, who cares? We gave them one. Like, let's just go ahead and win.
Yeah.
Don't have to stress about it anymore. But no, the bonus point system. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I'm not 100% against it just yet. But yeah, I'll just be very frustrated and disappointed if a team misses out, such as the Swifts.
Yes.
And if we have more wins, but we don't make finals because of the bonus point system, that's going to be really disappointing.
That's right. So everyone's got an open mind at the moment, but once we hit the finals, who knows what's going to happen with opinions there. Jiva Mentor got player of the match in that game. Have you had a chance to come up against her yet at all?
Not in Suncorp just yet, but in the pre-season we had a few games against them. We went to Sunshine Coast and played them, and when England came over before Com Games, we got to play against them, and yeah, it's not an easy game against Jiva. I only played a couple of quarters on it, but no, I don't think any defender in this competition is easy.
Unfortunately for you.
I know. But it is exciting that, we're playing in Australia, but, we get to play on international players every week. So it is exciting, and especially for me, a young player who hasn't had that experience, it's exciting.
Something I brought up with Kate Eddy, which I find really fascinating too, is obviously being Australian in the Commonwealth Games and those sorts of competitions, you're going for Australia, but you've also got a bit of allegiance with England now. Is that sort of hard?
Yeah, I think, it's good for netball, and I was so excited for Helen, and I love an underdog story as well, and I think it was anyone's game. I think, Australia could have gone out and smashed England, and I think everyone was probably expecting that, but England showed up to play on the day, and credit to them, they got it done, whether it was messy or not. They got the job done, and I think just to see how proud all them girls are with their medals, they treat them like they're little babies. So it was great for Helen, and she was absolutely stoked to come back, and I think it's good for netball because you couldn't tell who was going to be in that gold medal match. I mean, even countries like Jamaica and South Africa have really been improving, and you even seen Malawi beat New Zealand.
That was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's not between Australia and New Zealand anymore. It could be anyone's game. So it's going to be really interesting to see World Cup next year, and just to see even the teams, if Australia make
England too. I mean, they've got a home ground advantage, so it is interesting. I think that's the best word we can use, because obviously as Aussies we all love to win, but it's also, if you're a lover of netball, you don't mind really at the end of the day, as long as it's a great game.
Yeah, definitely.
So just quickly, we'll go over the West Coast Fever and Adelaide Thunderbirds game. It's an interesting one, again, that word with the Adelaide Thunderbirds, with their coach obviously going to depart after this season, and a lot of the girls jumping behind him. Do you think you've ever observed how difficult it is as a coach if your team isn't doing well? The pressure that's on them? Yeah,
definitely. I definitely don't think it's an easy job. And in this competition, I mean, Adelaide, they have had some good games, and I think they are a very new team. And if they're backing the coach, it is a bit upsetting for the girls, I guess, if they're backing their coach. But obviously, Netball SA, aren't happy with it. So, but then again, I guess he's not. The results aren't showing, so they can't just kind of keep hoping.
That's
I
right.
guess,
Something's got to change, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it is upsetting and sad to see that Dan won't be returning, because he is only a young coach, and
it's a tough one.
Yeah, definitely.
Offload. Good contest from Wetstein. Seen a change up the defensive end for the Fury. Trying to make out what the back of her dress says. And we've seen Aquafalau come back on for the Hawks and wing attack. I believe, Sealan Rush in centre now. Kaylin Rush.
And they've switched the goalkeeper and goal defenders. That's what they've done.
That's right, Walker and Mason just switching, probably just trying to give her a bit of a run, keep the legs warm. It's always freezing here at the Janae Netball Centre.
Not in summer.
That's right, until the weather changes, then it's the opposite.
Be interesting to see how the goal attack and the goal defence go now with the height difference. The Hawks GD looks like she has a few centimetres over Fury's goal attack, so whether
Do you think that's why they've made the change?
Possibly.
Hawks. Dwyer on the transverse line, goes back to rush. Over the top. Nice timing on the feed. Akafolau just waiting for Dwyer to come through.
Oh, and there's been a switch up in the goal circle as well. So
You're
she's
right.
out in goal attack.
Shooter for goal attack. So Jenny Webster ready to give her players some time in the action. Happy to keep the combination.
Yeah.
You don't see that as much in Super Netball, but you do see it in, obviously, Club Netball a lot. Do you think that's because as you become more professional, you really have to specialise in probably one more than the other?
Oh, that, and I think a change in your lineup could be very detrimental. It could go one of two ways. So, especially in Super Netball where every game is on the line, I don't think you want to be making too many changes if it's not going to work out. But no, I definitely think it's always good to have more than one position as a player.
So the defender that's come on, making a run for the ball now, but not getting it. Tries to get it off Flood. In goal defence is Seasons Tudahui Tarawiti. We've also seen Taylor Flood move back into that centre position. So plenty of changes happening for both sides, really.
It's interesting to see Fury make that change. So I thought the centre was doing quite well. That was on. I liked her flair that she was playing with.
Maybe it's about that factor of keeping her unpredictable and a special little trick up the sleeve. But you're right, she was getting a lot of ball and creating a lot of great play for the Fury. In front to Flood. Dunn Clifton wanted it, but I don't think they were happy about her position behind. Stuck for an option. Dunn comes up with the intercept. Cignetti underneath. Just like that, the Fury turn it on its head. 30 apiece. 10 minutes. We speak so much about this being the championship quarter, Sophie. I just want to get your thoughts on why we call it that.
Yeah, I'm not too phased about which quarter it is, as long as
there you go.
As long as we win. I think now as well with the Suncorp point system, every point's a championship quarter. But yeah, I guess they like to say that maybe the third sets you up for the last one with the momentum going into the last quarter.
Well, Hawks have just thrown away the opportunity that Rush created with the intercept up the other end. We see Victor just getting some treatment from the physio behind the baseline. So just probably dealing with that little niggly injury we spoke about at the start. Flood to Dunn. They're being patient, the Fury. Over the top. Swinging. Top, Clifton. Too impossible. The pass was off. And as a result, Hawks get a throw in on the baseline. Contact call on Clifton. Walker to take the pass. Driving forward, Mason. Straight to Lockery, the captain. Akafalau. Oh, Mason hands. Gets it over the top of Parrot. Flood. Clifton. Quick play here. Loopy shot. Up and in. Stokes. Gets stuck. 3 seconds gone. Flood challenged in the middle. Using the defenders on the transverse line. And Dunn almost acting like a centre, just setting up the play, directing her peers where she wants them to go. Short, sharp passes. We see Hannah Victor come back on. Rush onto the bench. And Akafalau into that centre position. So back to the starting combination with centre wing attack. Just keeping things fresh, Jenny Webster. Edge of the circle, Clifton at the top, done. Easy finding space. Mason might be better covering in front and trying to prevent the pass and hanging behind. Victor, great ball over the top. One side of the court to the other. Dwyer gives it the same. Comes back. Lockery, transverse line. Akafalau, Dwyer. Edge of the circle, up and over. Mir Stokes. Tutahui Taruwiti on the crumbs. Pretty crazy passage of play, Sophie.
Yeah, it's going back to that tennis style netball. Up and back. Fury will want to convert this one and make the Hawks pay for their mistakes.
Dunn raising the roof and putting the ball through the circle.
Could be a bit of an upset game if Fury take the win off the Hawks.
Definitely.
It will be hard though with Hawks crowd getting behind them.
Stokes up and through. Alicia Parrott in the wing defence orange dress for Fury actually makes her debut tonight too after 10 weeks out since pre-season with a bit of an injury. She broke her wrist, but she lives in Jervis Bay and travels 6-hour round trips for training 3 times a week. She's a school captain in Year 12. And her mother has been volunteering for Netball New South Wales for a very long time. Might have actually seen her at the Swifts or at one of the New South Wales games, Sophie, at some point.
Yeah.
And apparently Parrott does a lot of volunteering herself too.
Oh, nice. And I thought I had a busy schedule.
Yeah. Well, what's rather interesting is she's from the south coast of New South Wales, so she could have picked a closer club like, you know, the Stingrays or UTS Sparks, but instead she decided to trial for the Fury. Obviously something there that she wants to pursue.
Yeah.
Using the pocket now, Clifton.
Nice ball.
And we've seen less of Chignetti this quarter, and that's really only because Dunn's taken over. She's doing really well guiding the play.
Yeah, well, it's good when Hawks might have that been their game plan to shut the shooter down, but if you've got a goal attack that can step up, there's not much else you can do.
There's no issue, is it?
Yeah. It doesn't matter who's scoring the goals.
The Fury gaining momentum now. Just like that, they're out by 5. Looking to make it 6. They do it. 38-32. This has been a pretty impressive comeback from them. Clearly hungry and disappointed from their loss last week. Coming so close. And just taking the foot off the pedal and unable to adapt.
Yeah, definitely. I was worried about all the changes they've made, but the coach must have been confident that they'd work, and she was right.
Oh, lovely shot from Stokes. No celebrations though, clearly upset that they're a little bit down. Clifton heads out to Flood on the outside channel.
Lovely drive from Clifton.
Up and over. Walker unable to keep it in play, but a lovely little hand just to prevent the feed and the shot. The Fury having to do a little extra work to try and get back in there now. Ball over the shoulder. Another chance for the Fury here. This must be 4 or 5 different opportunities now. Dunn hoping to secure all that effort with a goal. Chignani keeps the ball in play. Straight to Dunn with a little swat. And they make it 6.
The Hawks seem to be feeling the pressure a little bit. A little bit hesitant.
The speed of their play is definitely accelerated for this centre pass at least. Dwyer in front.
Long bomb. Still confident to go to the post though.
Not sure if you can see Hawkhead in the crowd on the camera. The bird with the fuzzy eyebrows, but he's at every game, or she's at every game. I'm not sure what gender the bird is. Done in front. This is massive for the Fury. Up by 6. They were down by 3 goals at the first break. Up by 2 at half time. And after a bunch of changes, have just come on with fresh legs and mowed it on with the momentum they've found.
Still going to have to keep working hard because, as we just seen, the Hawks can score so quickly.
That's right. The pressure's certainly been there. Whether it's phasing them at the moment is another question. Victor always asking for people to come forward. Might be telling of the Hawks attack and what needs to happen. Akafalau, not sure what to do.
Oh, unlucky.
What's
Sophie
time?
Dwyer to finish with the long bomb again.
There we go. 3/4 time. The Fury, they're up by 6 goals, 41-35. And as you mentioned, so many changes made, but no problems at all for the Fury.
Yeah, definitely. The coach must have confidence in the team, even given the performance last week. So hopefully they can stick the rest of this game out.
And the Hawks are scoring in lots of 5. So they've been 15, 25 and now 35 at the 3/4 time break. But consistent with the shooting, I guess, is 10 goals last quarter and 10 goals this quarter. Outscored by the Fury 4 goals this time round. So 4 goals really isn't that much. I think just over time, same was what happened with you guys on the weekend. That lead is just creeping out.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the bonus point system as well. We're saying against Sunshine Coast, we were up by 10 in the first quarter, but then in order to keep getting bonus points, we've got to stay up by 10 or more the whole game. So it's hard, you know. That's when you really just have to keep focusing on winning the games rather than the bonus points.
So the only game we haven't talked about from last round is the Collingwood Magpies and the Melbourne Vixens. Melbourne Vixens won this game 65-57, despite the fact that they trailed by 7 goals at one point and rallied with a huge 19-12 third quarter to turn the momentum around. You're coming up against the Vixens. Obviously, they're coming off, a pretty big high from that win. You guys are going to have extra energy, right, to come up against that?
Yeah, definitely. And they are able to turn a game around really quickly. In the Fever game, I think their second quarter they scored 26 goals, so they had over 40 goals in the first half, which is pretty crazy for 15 minutes of netball to score 26 goals. So yeah, they're a very quality side. So yeah, we're just gonna have to grind that game out the whole 60 minutes.
All right, and then looking ahead to this round coming up, Sunshine Coast Lightning up against the Queensland Firebirds in the Queensland Derby. It's going to be an interesting one, considering, they both had such really strong rounds last time.
Yeah, definitely. Sunshine Coast, they didn't have a great start to the season, but they've definitely shown form against some of the quality sides like Fever. They only went down by 1 point and then drawing with Giants. So, I think they're definitely finding form, so that will be an interesting one.
And a tough one for the Magpies coming up against the West Coast Fever. Do you still have that little bit of home link to the West Coast Fever? Do you still sort of favour them in games?
A little bit, not too much actually.
How quick you are to turn coat.
Oh no, I've got one of my best friend Jess Anstice is in the team, so I'd like rubbing it into her when they lose, but unfortunately they beat us, so she got bragging rights in that one. But yeah, no, it is good to see the Fever winning, especially with their new shooter Fowler, and I think everyone, is kind of saying it's the only reason they're winning kind of thing. But I think their defense this year has been amazing. Courtney Bruce and Stacey Francis have been pretty good this season. So I think they should be getting a lot of credit as well for their performance.
All right, we're just about to come back out on court. And we can see Delilah Coley. She's put on a goal shooter bib, coming on for the first time tonight, and there seems to be plenty of support for her from the bench. She's another interesting story in that she was playing for the Stingrays in the first year of Premier League, their under-20 side, moved over to the Hawks last year, but was largely tied up with school commitments. And so school came first last year. At this time, she wasn't actually selected in the top 12 for the Hawks. She was picked up as a training partner, but the coach was very happy to tell me leading up to this match that because of the strength of her work, she's now been made a full partner of the team. You can just see her fit now, running behind. Apparently she's lost 9.5 kilos to get ready for this season and prove she's worthy to be on the side.
Wow.
So well done, Delilah. Jenny Webster also put her in wing attack the other day just to try things out. And she said although she doesn't have the same speed as most mid-quarters, she's got a great feel for the game and feeding technique. So it helps, obviously, being a shooter, knowing where to put the ball, knowing
definitely
where they want it. No changes to the Fury from last quarter. And you wouldn't really expect any, considering the form that they've been in.
Well, you just want to hope that they're fit enough to run out the whole game and not lose it now that they've got such a great lead.
Well, all of a sudden, the Hawks have got louder. Clearly, Delilah Coley is a massive favourite for them. Bounce pass, Dwyer. Coley misses. Wetstein forcing a turnover. GWS building now, using Wetstein. Gifted a free pass in the midcourt. flood, outside of the body, gives it to Dunn, just pops out the top of the circle. And Chignetti's there waiting. Stuck for an option. Goes laterally. Ball lost to Mason, who's moved back into goalkeeper. Hawks looking to keep building. Over the top, Dwyer's hanging at the back on her own. 38-43, the crowd's lifted.
Yeah, I think the girls in the crowd must have got some snacks or something because they've definitely
lollies or sugar.
Chirped up for this last quarter. I hope they're concentrating though. I heard their coaches saying before the game that they have to watch the players that are playing their position and take some notes. So,
and there's a function happening up in the room behind this court. You can see some of the same jumpers up there that are down in the crowd on the sideline tonight. So it must be a ERNA Hawks function of some sort. There's even a little bub up there, although they look to be on Fury's side. Dunn forces her way into the circle. Nice little high five between Chignetti and Dunn.
Yeah, it's a good shooting combination that Fury have. Both sharing the load.
Breaking call sees the Hawks with a free pass. Coley looks to feed, can't get there, gives it to Victor instead. She's able to get it to Dwyer. They play on. Coley in front. And there's the cheer about an octave higher than any other sport you'll hear. Within 5, the Hawks pushing back here. Lockery's on the ground, collects herself, she's okay. She's used in the pocket. And Dwyer, strong in front, has a newfound confidence. Where's this been the rest of the game?
Yeah, she's really going to the post, and I love confident shooters that go to the posts.
Parrott gives it to Clifton, who's on the edge. Dunn, little fake, allows her to offload to Chignetti. Smart positioning of the body from the shooters. Good contest between Parrott and Victor. Step. It's another coach killer.
Yeah, stepping and breaking.
Ball's free. Clifton there before the two Hawks plays that were after it. Her speed proving all the difference. Oh, they've lost it. There's still 9 minutes on the clock and everyone's acting like there's 5 seconds.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a grand final in here. With the screaming coming from the crowd.
How much does the crowd play a factor in the momentum and the energy you've got going on the court?
Oh, massive. We have the best crowd by far. Yeah, it's pretty amazing going out there and hearing the crowd. My first experience at Kudos was crazy. It was unreal. Yeah, I did not expect it to be like that loud and affect the game so much, and especially when they're going for you, it's definitely a confidence booster.
Oh, Mason just read the play and picked up the ball. And now the Hawks are up the other end as a result. Dwyer really taking ownership as the main shooter. The difference is only 3 now.
Yeah,
We've still got plenty of netball to be played.
Cracking under pressure. And we see on the sideline they've got a their centre.
Naunge?
Yeah, she's got the centre bib on and she's warming up, so we might see a change soon.
Well, this is worrying signs for the Fury. They're still up by 2 goals, but unfortunately they've started really well in a lot of games and then backed off. And you'd think that heading into this final quarter with such a strong lead and all the momentum in their favour, they'd be happy to hang on to that and confident that they would. And now the Hawks are just using their experience. There's a lot of players here that have played Premier League before, 6 players back from last year.
And the crowd's getting behind them, so
there's 2 tall athletes in that program, the talented ones on their side. Also got some state players. And obviously that experience is just coming back here in the last quarter of the game when everything counts. And nothing's final. Dunn goes back to Clifton. She's really struggling to find someone, and by that she has to give it to the other player.
yeah, well, she didn't have many options there at the moment. Everyone was standing still, and I mean, in tough times, they're only a goal up. They need to be having more than one option at the ball.
So Okumbor's come on in goal defence and made a swap with Seasons Tutahui Ta'u Awiti. Victor tries to give it to Dwyer. Okumbor in front. We'll get a throw in instead. Coley, strong, coming through. Gives it to Dwyer. No look pass. We're level, 45 all. 5:20 left in this match. Round 5 under-20s Premier League. The Fury starting to panic. Oh, are they? Cignetti. Calm and collected. Adds another. Fury are really starting to amp up their celebrations and praise and support too. I realise they've got to compete on the bench as well. Still almost 5 minutes on the clock and things are very hectic here at the Janae Netball Centre on the Showcourt. Lovely work, lovely footwork from Dwyer into Coley. No look pass, gives it back. Same as last time. 46 all, 1 for 1 at the moment. Back to the tennis action. Flood, done. Stuck, no one's there. Clifton right behind. Shooters having to work a little harder because the mid-quarters are backing off.
Yeah, they really need to step up in this. Oh.
The hands from Paro see a turnover. Ball ends up with Wetstein. Okunbor gives it to Flood, inside channel. Up and over, done,
Nice
collects
ball.
it. Over ahead, gives it to Clifton and Cignetti. Strong in stature. Makes it 2. They're fighting back the Fury.
This is when Maddie Proud would say, we just need to convert all our centre passes. That's
Seems
her
so
game
simple.
plan. Yeah, so great. Good math. Oh, that is the worst. That's what I hate. A shooter contact.
Mentioned this last week though, it is a good sign of umpiring. An eye for detail. Coley, a little too nonchalant about that pass. Hawks lucky they get another chance here with the throw-in from the sideline. Sophie Dwyer's foot was out. The pressure's getting to both sides. 3 minutes. Hara to Flood. Wetstein gives it to Ockenbaugh. Some long passes in the midcourt, but now they're stuck. No one's pushing up into that goal third, and Shooter's not doing any work until the ball's up there. Clearly a tactic. Fury up by 3. Bad pass. Mix up with GWS. Although the Fury, all on their own, able to sort it out. Ball's lost. How lucky. First possession. Done. Gifts it to Clifton on the edge. Man-on-man defense, I should say, not contact. Up and over, done. Again, creating everything. So creative for the Fury. 4 goals difference now. And that was an ERNA Hawks centre. So all the experience we talked about in that Hawks side has gone missing for this last third of the final quarter.
Yeah, Fury were looking a bit stressed for a couple of minutes there, but they seem to settled in this last couple of minutes. And
Ockenbaugh forces the turnover, unable to give it to a player in control. Coley coming out. Dwyer's got heavy defense on her, so she's stuck. Makes a run. Ockenbaugh doing really well, just hanging right onto Dwyer. Puts her off. Coley keeps it in play. It's a Fury throw in. Their supporters are clapping. Surely they've done enough here. Ockenbaugh, long ball to Flood in the middle to Clifton. She'll go round. In front done. 30 seconds.
yeah, I think unfortunately for the Hawks, I think that's game over for them. But fortunately for the Fury.
Especially because that was their centre pass. They've just converted the Fury.
Yeah.
And they can just hang on possession-wise now. Though they're going to go for it. Cignetti. Strong.
Oh.
Missed. Walker to Lockery. Captain goes lateral. Pushing up the outside channel. Long bomb. Nobody gets hands on it. And the Fury very happy with themselves. A massive fight back. Down by 3 goals at the first break. Get their second win for the season tonight.
Yeah, good work by the Fury. They crumbled a little bit when the pressure was put on, but they were able to push out in the end and get the win. So that's promising stuff going through to the second half of the season for them.
And what's fantastic about this now is both sides of the crowd are just clapping with such enthusiasm. It was a really good game. That last quarter was 11-all in terms of the goal shot, so you can tell how tight it was. But we'll be back very shortly in front of the camera to wrap up this match. Well, we've seen a massive win by the GWS Fury here tonight. In sixth place, they've just beaten the ERNA Hawks, who were in third. It'll be interesting to see what happens from here with the ladder. They've beaten them by 6 goals, despite the fact they were down at the first break. Sophie Garvin, your first experience watching Premier League, what did you think?
Yeah, it was really exciting and a really good quality game from such young players as well. So I'm excited for the next game.
All right, player of the match maybe from GWS?
I'm going to give it to Clifton. Was it Monique Clifton? I think she really drove that attack end and stepped up in that last quarter when she needed to.
The Hawks certainly have still a lot to be proud about because they just played so well and that last quarter was so tight, 11 goals apiece. Who do you think stood out for them?
Yeah, I'm going to say Sophie Dwyer. I think she was going to the post when she needed to and had the confidence to go to the post, and she was nailing some of them long bombs. So, yeah, good job, Sophie.
Great chases, Sophie.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with the Opens tonight at 8 p.m. It's going to be the Hawks up against the GWS Fury. Tune in then. Hello and welcome back to the Janaea Netball Centre for round 5 of the Open's Netball New South Wales Premier League. Tonight we see GWS Fury and the Eastwood Ride Hawks take the Showcourt for a much anticipated top 4 clash. GWS, the ladder leaders, proved just how strong their 2018 outfit is here last week with a convincing 17-goal win against the UTS St George Sparks. Undefeated after 4 rounds, they'll be looking to replicate the dominant start that proved all the difference last week and keep the foot down as they march towards the halfway point in the season as the team to beat. The ERNA Hawks, in 3rd place, come off a 1-goal thriller last Wednesday where they defeated 2017 champs Manly 59-58. That match saw them bounce back from a narrow loss in round 2, so it's important they keep the top 4 spot tonight and the winning momentum at the end of the 60 minutes. I'm Brittany Carter, here for Bar TV, and excited for a lot of reasons about this matchup, especially when you consider both these sides have won 2 of the 4 games they've played, and 2 of those games have been decided in separate seasons by just 1 goal. Weirdly, the same score, 54-53. In expert comments with me tonight, back for more Premier League action, is Sophie Garben from the New South Wales Fifths. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We see the Hawks up by 1 to start this match. Just quickly run through the team list while we've got some time. So for the ERNA Hawks, coach Jen Wright has selected Alicia Cairns in goal shooter, Veronica Juvic, who's just come back from an ankle injury, in goal attack, Ebony Bernard in wing attack, was the captain of the under-20s in last year's season and has been elevated to the Opens team. Georgia Marshall, high school maths teacher, is in centre. Emma Moses, who's from Metro 1 and borrowed for this match in wing defence. Laura McLaren in goal defence. And Jess Grant, the captain, a previous Waratahs captain, is in goalkeeper. When we look at the GWS Fury side, Jenny O'Keefe, the head coach, has selected Arn Azazan, their international import from Malaysia, who's brand new to Premier League. It's the first time we get a look at her on the Showcourt tonight because she didn't play last week. She's in goal shooter, looking to try and get the ball now, but she's sandwiched between 2 Hawks defenders. Abby McFadden joins her in goal attack. Jamie Mann, the captains, in wing attack. Megan O'Keefe is in centre. Victoria Aoki is in wing defence. Mallory Jansen in goal defence. And Stephanie Gallen-Mitchell in goalkeeper. So the Hawks up by 2. The Fury unable to get the ball close to the post and convert points.
Yeah, it will be an interesting one between these 2 teams as both teams will be missing players from their A&L lineup as well as their Suncorp players as well. So it'll be interesting to see who has the stronger bench, I guess.
Yes, you're right. Finals this weekend. The semi-finals are on Saturday and what they're calling the gold medal match is on Sunday. I'm not sure if it's going to be real gold medal like Helen Housby's one, but definitely bragging rights.
Yeah, speaking of A&L finals, I'll just drop in that I was part of the West Australian team that won it last year. So,
and you were MVP of the final match too. Don't forget to add that.
Yeah, free Samsung phone. That was nice. Thank you, Samsung.
They've done a lot for netball in this space.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. We're going to talk about plenty of that in the break. But yes, there are a lot of restrictions on a lot of the players in both sides tonight, and it's made it really hard for the coaches actually because they have no idea who's available from either team and they're unable to predict any matchups.
Yeah. Well, we see on the bench they've brought up Sophie Dwyer from the last game and they've got Kira Austin's sister.
Yes, Em Austin, the older sister, previously represented ACT at Nationals.
Different position though. Is she a defender?
It's a good question.
I think she may be a defender.
They probably practice at home. Someone's got to be the defender.
Oh, I don't think that would end well with me and my sister.
We're going to talk a little bit about her too in the break. Basketballer. Up and over, Cairns. Couldn't pull the ball in. There's a strong hold on her with the goalkeeper. You see Jansen giving it now to Gallon Mitchell. McFadden, fast to man. Oh, and O'Keefe, little nudge from behind, but able to make sure that she doesn't step into the circle. Slow to get the ball back. McFadden up and over. Azizan, quick ball. Really strong hold from McLaren in goal defence. And Jess Grant, the captain, leading by example, straight on the rebound. Marshall, transverse line. Working lateral, the Hawks.
Good use of backspace.
This time, Cairns is able to find some of that space behind. Hawks up by 3, 5-2. McFadden on the ground, still able to collect it, but the Hawks have forced a turnover. Quick work now. Moses to Grant. She'll give it to Marshall, who's in centre. Across the court. Moving up. Juvic. Long ball. Marshall, edge of the circle. Waits for the right time to feed. Goes 1 and 2 with Cairns. Shot missed. Opportunity wasted. Fury throw in. Aoki to Gallon Mitchell. Through the court. Fast, straight through the middle. Quick feet from O'Keefe. And Azizan just unable to pull the ball in. Slipping between her fingertips and over the baseline. Moses gives it to Bernard. Inner channel. Moving towards the post. Cairns pops it up, unable to keep her balance, but keeps the ball in play. They've lost possession though. The Fury working extra hard to get the ball out of the goal third, although it's like they skipped the mid-court then. Quite unsettled, the Fury, aren't they, Sophie?
Yeah, they seem a bit rushed getting it down the court. I think they just need to balance it up a bit and even reset instead of trying to force it.
And by that you mean come back, come forward, right?
Yeah, like reset to the goal defender on the line, just to change up the timing and settle it a bit. Long bomb.
How's the shot from Abby McFadden? Swish. Oh, Callum Mitchell on the ground. Split stance from Cairns in front, unmarked. Quick passing from the Fury. Cruel! But it slips through in the end.
Shots in, she's happy with that one.
So Arn Azizan is a really good story, actually. As we mentioned, she's new to Premier League from Malaysia. It's been a pretty big adjustment for her moving to Australia. She was the Malaysian captain for the World Cup, and she's boarding with a Malaysian family at the moment, just trying to adjust to our culture. She's very determined and strong. And I suppose the link to our netball culture has come from Tracy Robinson, who's actually an Australian coach coaching the Malaysian team at the moment. Started her coaching career in the New South Wales Pathways. Long ball. Grant to Marshall. Quick cut and drive now. Marshall getting the ball back. Cairns makes it look easy. The Hawks are up 8-4. Double the points. Strong. Juvic's got it. McFadden. Cut back, cut back. Jansen using the reset, like Sophie mentioned before. We see O'Keefe, top of the circle.
Through the legs.
It's not coming easy for the Fury at the moment.
Yeah, the Hawks are definitely making them work for it. You can see the experience in the Hawks back line really showing. But it will be good for the Malaysian goal shooter to get some experience against that Australian defence going into the World Cup next year.
Ah, she's got the rebound. Lovely jump up into the air.
Yeah, good vertical jump.
And it seems as if we're starting off quiet again with this crowd. They were so pumped up after the under-20s game that we saw just on the court before this match.
I think the reps girls have just gone to get some milkshakes, so they'll get some more sugar into them and start
start again, huh?
Oh, big hit.
Jansen.
Ooh.
She's banged into the post, a little slow to get up. Bit ginger. She's smiling with a little nod. She's okay. 10-5. The Hawks leading the Fury. And the Fury last week against the Sparks, we mentioned, had such a strong win. Their fitness was the massive difference. And to be honest, a lot of those stars are out here on the court tonight too. So without Ange Fraketic, but McFadden was in that same shooting spot in goal attack. All the midcourt remains much the same.
Yeah,
so
and
they've got a new challenge tonight, the Hawks.
Yeah, and Fraketic will be a big loss though for the Fury. At Nationals, I think last year she missed about 2 goals in the whole of Nationals. Her accuracy is
fantastic,
amazing. So that could be a big loss for them, but it's only early.
That's right, and sometimes as a shooter, Sophie, I'm sure you have to really get into a rhythm before the accuracy comes.
Yeah, definitely. And as cliche as it is, practice is key.
It's so funny, these little sayings that get drilled into our heads as we grow up, and then they stay there.
And then you realise, oh, everything my coach has been saying is actually true.
Bryony Akel, I'm not sure if you're listening, but Sophie's finally got the message.
She won't be listening. She's still got to tune into our episode of Net Chicks this week that she hasn't done.
Oh, we're going to talk about Net Chicks too at the break.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll definitely be bringing that up for a plug.
It's been brought up twice already on this commentary.
Yeah, I know. I actually haven't paid them girls either. They've done that by themselves.
Sure, under the table, brown bag money. Cairns, strong, in front. Help ball, too long.
Quick 3 seconds there.
Too strong. Azizan out of the circle, working hard to get back now. O'Keefe uses man in the pocket.
Oh, nice use of the front space there.
Feeds around the body, and Azizan, she's got it now.
Nice take.
Cairns just using her arms to find some space though. It'll be interesting to see whether that's picked up. Coming back off the goalkeeper's body. Jansen in the middle. Man, quick work, footwork. Ends with the hands. McLaren, vision, sees the ball free. Does something with it. On the transverse line, the Hawks. Top of the circle. Juvic can't give it to Cairns. Now she's outside, nobody's in. They're panicking, the Hawks are. Marshall stands alone by herself. Cairns. They'll get what they're after, the Hawks. A little gift into the circle. Lovely rebound from Cairns.
Lucky on that one. They were quick to transition the Hawks, but took a while in the end to get the goal.
GWS centre though. 13-7, Hawks up over the Fury. And we've got 55 seconds on the clock. This quarter has gone very fast. Too easy for Cairns. Although she's missed a few attempts so far. Still finding the rhythm. Little tip from McLaren, disrupting the play. Fury with a throw-in. Jansen.
Score this one going into the break.
Unfortunate. Marshall thought she had a great intercept. Instead, she's been pulled up for contact. McFadden outside the circle now goes over the top. O'Keefe rather, can't keep it in play. Last-ditch effort from Mann. Jess Grant with the throw-in. Trying to make something happen rather quickly. And the ball almost takes out our cameraman. The Hawks up 14-7. Double the amount of goals at the break. Just giving a little wave, Sophie. You found someone you know?
Yeah, Alison Miller, Swift's training partner, New South Wales Waratah, and this year playing for the Hawks. She'll be happy with the shout-out. Looks like she's having a little snack over there as well.
Yeah, I'm jealous. It looks like chocolate.
No,
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not very healthy. She's got finals this week.
Don't zoom in on her, guys, just in case. Sophie, okay, let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about NetChicks, because obviously that's like one of the most important things going on in your life at the moment.
Yeah, a bit more important than the game this weekend, actually. No, we went a bit MIA for a bit there because Maddie Proud, she's studying her Masters. Not sure if anyone knows, but she actually wrote a book, and she'll tell you that.
She's on to her second, isn't she?
Yeah, so she's doing her Masters and writing her second book. So she was pretty busy. I don't know how that was more important than NetChicks, but apparently it was. And I got a bit lazy there as well. But we're back into it. I think we've got some feedback that our new segment has been the best one yet. You can see.
Is it with Sam Wallace?
Yep, you get some twerking tips, and you get to see me and Maddie in her wigs. So
I have to admit to you, I haven't seen that episode yet, but I have seen an image of Sam Wallace twerking, and it's making me want to tune in, really.
Look, it's pretty
the
amazing.
Hook of this episode, surely.
Yeah, even her friends back home were saying that they were surprised that she did it on camera, because apparently she doesn't just twerk for anyone, but she's done it for NetChicks. So
exclusive.
It's very exclusive. So if you're at home right now and you've got a few minutes in this quarter time break, or maybe even at half time, flick over.
Have us going at the same time. Why not? Surely, one on your phone, one on your laptop.
Split screen.
So how did NetChicks come about? What's the story behind it?
Well, Bryony pretty much forced us into it.
Really? So she's the mastermind
almost? Well, Maddie Proud went live, used to go Instagram live, and Bryony thought it was the best thing ever. And yeah, then we always joked about being vloggers and famous influencers. And yeah, we thought, why not? We got nothing else to do.
The name is perfect. I'm guessing that.
Yeah, a bit of copyright there.
And how's it all going? Are you happy with the numbers it's showing at the moment?
Yeah, we had a lot in our first episode because we featured Helen, so of course we get a lot of numbers there.
International interest, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it is good. It's mostly for the young girls, actually. They seem to be loving it. And actually, we've got a few older viewers as well who are actually getting dinner after one of our games, and a lady came up to us and she was like, "Oh, I'm a massive NetChicks fan. Where has it been?" It was like her birthday or something. She was there with her boyfriend, and I'm like,
And she was missing it in its absence.
Yeah.
So she's clearly a big fan.
But yeah, we just kept saying absence makes the heart grow fonder. So that was our saying.
You're full of sayings, Sophie Garvin.
Yeah, well, I've actually I've even been using my commentating ones that I've been working on this week, but we might see them in the second of the
I hope
rest
so.
of this game.
So do you have certain roles in NetChicks? Is like Maddie behind the scripting? Are you behind the editing?
We just had there was a bit of a fight, bit of drama in the NetChicks environment, because I said Maddie was a bit too bossy. She gets she actually gets so serious when it comes to net chicks. And look, it's a bit of a good cop, bad cop situation. And I'm not as structured as she is, and I don't pay attention too much. So she's more of an ideas woman. Well, I am ideas as well, but she's more, the enforcer. But I told her she was being a bit bossy, but then she came to me the next day at training and said, I've reflected on the comment, and
she's taken the feedback
maybe
on board.
Maybe I'm a little bit bossy. I'm sorry, but a little bit of drama in the net chicks environment, but we're okay now.
Just lastly, before we move on, who came up with the idea for the wigs?
The wigs?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Oh, are we talking about Sam's segment?
Oh, are they different wigs?
Oh, we've got like Sam's actual wigs.
Oh.
So Sam wears weaves and wigs and stuff like that. So we are wearing them wigs.
Oh, okay. So
segment.
that's another hook. No, I was referring to the little red strands in Helen's.
Wait, aren't they in fashion?
Okay, a bit of action on court here between Jess Grant and Abby McFadden. No changes either side. Oh, I'm stand to be corrected. Emily Bills has come on in goal attack for the Hawks. Usually a starting shooter for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I watched her the other week play with Alison, so.
They're first on the board, the Hawks. So Jen Wright just giving Veronica Juvic a bit of court time to get back from that injury. Maybe she deems the first quarter as the easiest one to do it, especially when they're up.
Yeah, I think as well, coming from the warm-up, you don't want to warm up and then cool down again and then, warm up.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. McFadden fighting really hard to hold on to that ball. Even when she's given a free pass or shot, she's still having to grapple for it. 15-8, Hawks over the Fury. Bernard, little dummy, gives it to Marshall, straight to Bills. Oh, disrupted. Jansen, hands on it. Hawks still have it somehow. Comes to Marshall in the pocket, and Bills split stance on the baseline, pops through for an easy goal.
Yeah, Bills is really providing that extra drive in the goal circle. I think with was it Veronica back in goal attack? I think they were two more holding, taller shooters, so it's good to see a little bit more drive.
McLaren, outside hands with a little wrist action, gets a hand on the ball, and a turnover for the Hawks. Bills timing up over. Marshall looking to feed. Forced back to Bernard. And Jansen pulls off a magnificent intercept. Aoki into Jansen. Middle of the court. Stark, these two just playing pass back. McFadden comes through the middle. Mann gives it to O'Keefe. They go lateral again. McFadden. Azizan really stuck for space, but she's come up front and given it back to the Hawks. Bills, quick, off the post and out. Fury with a throw in. Crazy passage of play up one end to the other. Jansen, turn of the body as she receives the ball. Mann and McFadden up over. Azizan in front. Seven goals the difference. Marshall comes back to Bills. Swing around the circle. And Bills really proving such a difference already, though she's missed the shot. Gallon Mitchell on the crumbs. O'Keefe, quick feet. Mann to McFadden. O'Keefe waiting for McFadden to find some space.
The Hawks defenders are definitely making them shooters work.
They've got strong holds and one-on-one defence working beautifully at the moment. Obviously, Jess Grant and Laura McLaren have been defending for years with each other. They've got a great understanding. And an unspoken connection when one needs to switch. McFadden gives her an option with the throw-in. Man, straight to McFadden. Nice swing of the circle to find some space. Hawks up by 6. Oh, little double. Bernard, loses her footing and gives it to Jansen. The defence has really shone on both sides of the court tonight.
Yeah, Fury just need to be a bit more patient when they do get a turnover and not force it in and, you know, balance up. Oh, late call there with the stepping.
McLaren coming forward for Grant. Moses, long pass, Marshall. Up and over. Bills wanted it, but Bernard was able to see Cairns behind in a better position. Still up by 6, the Hawks. Fury overcooking the ball. Moses working hard back forward. Long passes working for the Hawks until someone gets a tip and spoils the party in Aoki. Coming backwards and back to Marshall. Up and over. Cairns in front. Up and in. And we've seen more of those representative players from the Hawks disappear. Everyone's getting milkshakes, it seems.
Unless they've gone home to bed, maybe.
Possibly. It is a late night. When you think about the under-20s as well, some of them studying their HSC and obviously training late at night and then playing here late at night, all the way out at Homebush.
Yeah, definitely it's a hard one to balance for them girls.
Especially when they've got the later game in this slot. So
yeah.
It mixes up and swaps.
Yeah.
As you would know, selling the tickets.
I'm the professional around here. So.
Well, I actually read somewhere that you're the backbone of this organisation.
Well, look, you're not wrong. I was actually working in reception today, and I told Ben, our manager here, about 3 times that I'm his boss, not his mine.
Hawks with another shot. Man, straight out for the centre pass, gives it to McFadden.
Oh,
Jess
lovely
Grant.
move.
What a fantastic intercept.
Yeah, 2 hands. So it's definitely been given to her. I don't think the Fury were too happy about that.
And sometimes you create intercepts for the other team when you hang on to the ball too long with that hesitation.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the best thing is, I think, I love ball speed. Just let the ball go. If they're there, there's no point hanging on to it and waiting for something better.
We just saw another example of that with a loopy pass to Aoki. And Hawks just able to jump in front of it. If you're speedy enough, you can stifle the plan. And that was surely a tactic for Bills to just find some space while everyone was focusing on the bib that needed to be put back on. Man coming back to O'Keefe. Still struggling. McFadden calling for it on the outside. Oh, ball gone. Contact call goes the Fury's way. McFadden stepping outside to create a better shot. Nine goals difference between these two teams.
Yeah, the Fury are gonna be wanting to start bringing that lead back, so they're not going to the second half, you know, with a massive lead that they're gonna have to win back.
What's quite interesting is when we look back at the ladder, GWS are undefeated, and yes, they're missing Ange Fraketic tonight, but with the rest of their team here, I'm still surprised by what's happening out on court.
Yeah, definitely, and the Hawks struggled the other week when they didn't have their A&L players. They went down to North Shore, was it? So it's good that they've stepped up tonight.
Yeah, they lost 51-48 to North Shore in round 3. And they've won every other game. O'Keefe creating her own opportunities. Aoki gives it to Mann, middle of the court, transverse line. McFadden using it again. In the pocket, up and over. Nazazan. Up and through. Very quiet here at Netball Central tonight. Azazan comes out. Mid-quarters. Swing the circle. McFadden, easy feed. Good challenge from McLaren. 3 minutes left before halftime. The Hawks are up 24-15. The difference still 9. What are your thoughts about this second quarter so far, Sophie?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit of a blowout as such for the second half already. A 10-goal lead to the Hawks. I think Hawks are finishing off their turnovers, converting their turnovers a bit better this quarter, and Fury are just still a little bit rushed in their attack and forcing the ball instead of playing it around a little bit more to find the easier space.
Great rebound from Azazan. She'll take a second attempt. This time it's good. Marshall. Thought she'd lost the opportunity to give it to Cairns, but Bills was there. I'll go to Fury. I'll get the throw in. Almost an impossible pass. You've got to make it easy for the players on your team.
Yeah, like Bryony likes to say, be kind to your friends.
It's another good saying. I have to start writing all these down. O'Keefe using the body. Both Jamie Mann and O'Keefe have a really similar style of play in that they're both short, sharp and fast, but they just use their body to angle where they want the ball to come and to stop any defenders getting in their way.
Yeah, definitely they are both very similar, so not sure if that's working for them tonight though. Having such similarities, they might need to change it up a bit there, just to see something different out on court for them. Maybe open something up.
Well, Abby McFadden was Helen's pick last week for GWS. She really liked how clever she was when she played the circle and going from the 2-on-1 defense. She's a great playmaker, doing a lot of work on the center pass. But I'd almost say McFadden's almost been taken out of this contest tonight because McLaren's been so tight on her one-on-one defence with her.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the Hawks defenders are doing a great job shutting both players down within the last game. When the Hawks shut down one player, the other should have opened up, but that's not happening in the opens tonight. They're both getting shut down a bit.
So Annabelle Marshall comes on for the first time tonight. The change in this second quarter. And she'll take the wing defence position. Aoki having something looked at by the physio, hoping she's all right.
Yeah, I think she's got a bit of blood, actually.
Has a step, which means the ERNA Hawks are gifted. Half time. There we go. Hawks up over the Fury, 27-16. A lot of high fives being done by both sides. And that's something actually that the under-20s GWS Fury coach Kath Tetley believes in. Eye contact, the high fives, all of it contributes to the spirit and the culture you have as a team.
Yeah, well, Brian used to tell us off in the preseason because we'd go around and high five every single one. And she's like, can you just hurry up and come in so I can talk to you?
It's an interesting take.
No, but yeah, definitely the connection with your team. I think sometimes when we get in a bit of trouble, it's because we aren't connected and, you know, we're not talking to each other. So even just going up to your friend on the line and just saying hello and how you going to get that connection with them can really help. So, yeah, definitely.
Well, we mentioned we thought it was a bit of a blowout in that second quarter, but the ERNA Hawks were only up by 4 goals, 13-9. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but I guess in the scheme of things it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely adds up, you know. Winning each quarter by a little bit can really help.
Especially when you're down by 7 goals already in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you, Sophie. Firstly, have you always been a shooter?
Yeah, pretty much. Since I grew up in the country, so our association was you put your name in and then you get put into a team and you play every position. So
oh wow!
Yeah, I didn't actually start playing. I think you guys call it reps over here. So I didn't start playing that till I was about 15. Yeah, 14, 15. So then I became a shooter. I was a defender at my first carnival, and then my coach found out I could shoot and immediately swapped me. Yep, and I'm very grateful for that because I don't think I could be a defender.
It's funny, as a young girl, most of them want to shoot. So
yeah.
The fact that you were gifted and happy to change is a win-win situation.
Yeah.
So you grew up in 40 kilometres away from Kalgoorlie in the Western Australia goldfields?
Yeah, so Campbell, a small little town. My parents actually just went back there on the weekend. My dad became a life member of the football club. So
wow, congratulations.
Yeah, he was pretty stoked with that. But yeah, so I grew up there in red dirt pretty much. Yeah, so we didn't really have much, you know, opportunity with sport and stuff like that. My mum ran the associations for both like the basketball and the netball. So yeah,
I bet you're grateful now.
Yeah, I think my mum was a pretty good athlete back in the day, but she didn't really get the opportunity that me and my sister had. So I think maybe if she did, she could possibly have made something for herself. So she likes to live vicariously through us now.
So you moved back to Perth at the age of 13.
Yeah.
Is that when your passion for netball really took off?
Yeah, I was playing a bit of basketball and netball, and trainings were at the same time, and yeah, I decided to go with netball. And yeah, I just really started to enjoy it. I started to go through the pathway, found out there was the such thing as the ANZ Championships, and then yeah, it just went from there.
It's funny though, you mentioned that you hadn't heard of the ANZ Championship before. I think that's something that Stu Gordian's really trying to do with the Wake Up Netball campaign, because I know even as myself growing up playing netball, I never heard of the competition that was before that. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that many of our young girls playing in Australia, we have so many people playing netball, and not everyone knows about this super netball competition, which is just, it seems crazy to us, obviously, because we're in it and living it and watching it on TV constantly. But for some people, it's not known.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of other sports like AFL, people know, the competition before they know that you can actually play it. So no, it is crazy that so many people don't know about it, and I think it's great getting the word out, and even getting us girls down to associations and stuff like that, so the girls can meet the players. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you make, because I know at the club that I'm coaching at the moment, the Engadine Eagles Club, we had Sophie Halpin, Paige Hadley, Abby McCulloch, and Maddie. Blonde's Maddie. Maddie Turner. I was going to call her Maddie Proud then. I didn't let that slip. They came out and did a great clinic with so many girls. There was just, I think there was 100 girls there, and they just absolutely loved it. I don't know how they kept everyone quiet, because it was just the most exciting thing for those young girls. But like you say, I mean, we might not have known about the ANZ Championship growing up, but these girls are now aware of Super Netball, or more aware than anyone was ever before.
And I think now with social media and stuff like that, we can really, push it and get it out there. So it's definitely in our favour.
What else happens with you? So you competed in the under-17s, the under-19s, and the under-21s after you were selected in that 15s team, and that was all for WA?
Yeah, yep. So I went through the WA pathway. I was at one of my association trainings, and one of the girls said, "Oh, you should come and trial for a state team." I was like, "What? What's that?"
There's a state team?
Yeah, so I went through the pathway, and I played one of my nationals actually right here at the Netball Centre. And then ended up playing A&L last year and the year before as well, so yeah.
And so, just to touch on your sister a little bit, so Darcy is obviously a basketballer with the Townsville Fire. And so, like I said, you must be so grateful that your mum not only took on netball for you and all of that, but she also did that for your sister with basketball.
Yeah, well, we used to travel. So my sister still was playing state basketball when we lived in Campbellda. So we were travelling 7 hours most weekends to Perth. So my sister could train and play basketball. So a lot of kilometres done by us across the red dirt. But no, yeah, we are very grateful for what our mum has done. I don't think we really realised how much effort it was at the time. But yeah, it was pretty amazing what she's done for us.
So you're living here in New South Wales at the moment. What's your living situation like? Are you boarded up with one of the Swifts team members?
No, so my boyfriend moved over with me. So he's an electrician, and he was looking for a new job in Perth, and he thought, well, might as well look for one in Sydney. So
plenty of jobs here.
Yeah, he came with me. He helps me pay the expensive Sydney rent. So
and where are you guys based? Anywhere?
Just 10 minutes from here, actually, in Wentworth Point. So not far, which is better than 7 hours to training.
You shouldn't have told me that, because anytime anyone pulls out a commentary now, I'll be like, Sophie, in 10 minutes, I know you can get here.
Well, actually, all of the girls Sarah's also in Wentworth Point, and the other girls are not far away as well, so there's no excuses for anyone, actually.
And do you see your sister often?
I actually saw her on the weekend. It was her birthday on Sunday, so she lives in Townsville, so she flew down to Brisbane for the game, watched it, and then me and Claire O'Brien stayed on Sunday night because we had a QBE function on Monday, so it worked out well, and so I got to see her on Sunday when I watched the State of Origin, which I didn't even know was NRL until that night.
Who did you go for?
New South, of course.
Oh, great.
We were in Queensland, a pub full of Queenslanders gone from New South, and I didn't even know anything about the State of Origin until Sunday, so I was definitely rubbing it in their faces.
Do you follow any of the AFL teams, though?
Yeah, not too closely. I do watch AFL more than NRL, but I actually really enjoyed the State of Origin, so I think I might get into the NRL a bit.
Well, it is rugby league on steroids, so you picked a good game to get started with, and now we'll just have to find you a team. Okay, we're back out on court for the third quarter. Paddy Talanoa has come on in the goalkeeper position for the Fury. And the Hawks remain unchanged again for this third quarter. They're first to score, with a Fury centre as well. Mix up.
Oh.
Marshall has moved into goal defence for the Fury. And Jensen's moving out to wing defence. Everyone hanging back at the moment. Marshall's free on her own. On the
Did Annabelle Marshall, did she play state for ACT?
That's a good question. I'll find out for you. I believe so. Is that where you've seen her pop up before?
Yeah, I think I recognise it. I think we may be similar ages, or
yes,
possibly she could be younger.
So she is an ACT athlete, making the trek for training in Premier League multiple times a week. She's in one of the ACT Talent ID programs and still trying to balance the training load and travel. So established herself really well in this team. She played last week and was pretty dominant in that game too.
It's good to be rewarded with court time, especially after travelling all that way.
It must be tough for, I'm imagining for your sister too, or it might have been tough in those early days, because basketball you sit on the bench a lot more than in netball usually.
Yeah, definitely. She's getting a bit more court time these days with the Townsville Fire after winning the premiership last year.
Yeah, fantastic team they are.
Yeah, so hopefully I think she should get a bit more court time this year with the list that the team list. Not that I know anything about basketball, but
well, you used to play, so you must have some idea.
Yeah, I feel like the rules have changed. They step and stuff. I don't know.
It's funny. Sometimes we're talking about super netball and the coaching and the young girls knowing about it now. Sometimes my girls will come to training, and for example, they might pick up that in the elite levels, when they're about to go over the line, they're not allowed to. They'll just use the ball to get their balance on the ground, and they'll say to me, I didn't know I was allowed to do that. So sometimes when you watch the elite level.
Yeah, well, I only found out a few years ago you're not allowed to kick the ball.
In netball?
Yeah.
No, that's a big no-no.
I was like, because I guess when you think about it.
That's more soccer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of quirks about this game. Jess Grant with the throw-in to Moses. Returns the favour with a pass back. McLaren in the middle of the court. Moses long, but accurate and sharp pass.
It's a very physical game.
Bills stuck for an option. Gives it to O'Keefe. That was unintentional. Man, Azazan outside the circle. They'll swing. O'Keefe struggling to feed. And Jess Grant disrupting the play, spoiling the party. Bills misses. Should get another chance. Will get another chance with the contact call. 30-18. The lead is now 12 by the Hawks. So this has pushed out heaps in these 5 minutes of the third quarter. The Fury have only been able to convert 2 goals. As the Hawks' defence has just been so good tonight.
Yeah, they're making it very hard for the Fury.
But then, to their credit, the Fury defence has been fantastic up the other end. Hasn't been easy for the Hawks to find a good position to take the shot.
Yeah. And the Hawks are missing a few easy ones right on the post, which are probably the most ones that I don't like. The ones right under, a lot of expectation to get them in.
Is there a favourite shot you've got? You know, one that you make and you just think, yes.
any that go in. Any that go in, especially with the pressure on the Suncourt court. It's every goal is a very high pressure shot.
How have you dealt with the step up from, A&L and that sort of level to Super Netball this year?
Yeah, I think having them off-court relationships has really helped, just knowing that I'm playing with my friends and that kind of thing, but still get so nervous during the game. I think every game is getting a little bit better. My nerves are settling a bit more. But yeah, because there's just so much pressure for every game, every goal, especially when they're so close.
Every quarter.
Yeah, every quarter, so the pressure is definitely high.
You had a pretty good debut, though, I have to say, watching that game. The turnaround in momentum that you had a massive hand in shaping.
Oh, thank you.
There were some really nice articles that popped up about you after that first game.
Yeah, I was ready to retire.
Not sure what happened then, but Fury have got a free pass. Obstruction call. Jansen goes back to Talanoa. Marshall round the body. No look pass from O'Keefe to Mann. Mann had a hands
nice
up.
Strong hold from the goal shooter, but I don't think they're looking in.
Yeah, Azazan having to come out
to
make them notice. A pretty good hold from both the defenders.
Shooters are missing from both ends and one's right under the post.
It's really been a great display of defence. Replay. Big whistle blown. We're going to see a change. Clearly the person coming on wasn't ready because she's still got a jumper and jacket on. I believe it's Lauren Woods. It is Lauren Woods. Started really strong for the under-20s last game in round 4 on the Showcourt. So Jenny O'Keefe willing to make as many changes as she needs to. She's already made 3 before the Lauren Woods change in this quarter. Bernard goes back to Moses. Marshall to Bills. Outside, long arms from Marshall.
Oh, lovely hold and great ball and finish the shot.
Cairns showing confidence then.
I think it's when their shooters are hesitating is when they're missing them. I think when they just go straight to post, they seem to be nailing them.
Yes, the confidence has sort of come and gone throughout the game. And when they've had it, it's been brilliant to watch them. (33-19), Hawks lead the Fury. Just under 6 minutes of play before the final break, and Marshall gifted the ball. Did well with hands to pull it in. Reaction time is fast. She gives it to Abby McFadden in the middle of the court now. And Woods, long way out, takes it to the post, round the ring and through.
She's come on good, Woods. Nailing her first 2.
She copped a lot of contact calls last. Oh, balancing off the head.
Unfortunately, that's
what
they call the commentator's curse.
She copped a lot of contact calls, unfortunately, last game, just because the umpire was picking up that she was using her hands into the back of the defender to find some space. But she started off brilliantly, and she's starting well here tonight. And that's why the under-20s competition is so important, because you learn about this level of umpiring and what's expected in this game.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the quality of the under-20s game, to be honest.
Of course, the A&L feeds into Super Netball. And this competition here feeds into the Netball New South Waratahs and also some of the Giants team. And the Canberra
Giants, yeah.
It's important to mention that because they're so closely linked with the Super Netball Giants. Oh, how's the feed? McFadden coming through. Takes the pass from the side of her body and converts. So 14 goals difference here. Unfortunately, it is a bit of a blowout at the moment. Cairns, strong and confident. Again, a glimpse of what the Hawks are capable of. McFadden battling to come through.
The Hawks are definitely finding the groove a bit. A few Swiss supporters in the stands. Lucas Cannon, our strength and conditioning coach, up there, as well as Anita.
Everyone's loving those beanies, by the way.
Yeah, they're very good. We get given presents after we win. We get socks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got socks, and the other week when we won, we got beanies. So incentive to win.
Do they have them made after you win, or are they sort of waiting in the closet until you have success?
They're made before we win, but when we win and we ask for them, we normally are more likely to get them.
Well, I can say that Kate Eddy and Helen Housley have both turned up in their Swifts beanie, so I was half expecting you to as well tonight.
Yeah, well, mine's actually in my bag, but I didn't want to put this hair out. It's a bit sweaty after training today, so...
Fair enough. And it's actually not as cold as normal in the Janae Netball Centre tonight, so we're a bit lucky. Ebony Bernard coming up for the centre pass.
Yeah, she's doing good work on the centre pass.
Bills up and over. No hesitation, quick feed, and it gets a result.
They're definitely finding their flow this quarter, the Hawks.
One call to the other. Fury in McFadden with a free shot or pass. Woods now, inner channel. Outside channel, rather. 37-23 with 2 on the clock. Up and over, Talanoa almost got hands to it. That sounds like rain. It's pouring outside.
I think there was only one leak today when it rained, so we should be okay.
Does it leak above the court?
Yeah, well, they were saying when the building first got built and it rained, there was about 4 or 5 leaks. And now they've narrowed it down to 1, so...
Improvements.
Yeah.
As long as we don't get wet here on the sideline, we've got a lot of technical equipment and don't want to get electrocuted. McFadden strong, just has the edge over McLaren for the set and pass. Strong, sharp passing. That's been the difference, especially in converting that goal. 38-24. Despite the big difference on the scoreboard, both of these teams are really gunning for it. You know, the Hawks aren't taking their foot off. They're just continuing to do what they're doing best.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see them, you know, finding their groove and staying with it, not taking the foot off the pedal just because they've got quite a decent lead. Oh, lovely feed from the transverse line.
The rain is coming down very heavy now.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm parked in P7, so not far to walk for me.
Okay, so at the end of the third quarter, the Hawks are up by a massive 16 goals, 40-24. What are your thoughts about that quarter, Sophie?
Yeah, I think the Hawks really found their rhythm and kept going. Didn't take their foot off the pedal. Sorry. And the shooters were confident going to the post in the end of that quarter and converting their turnovers.
And a pretty big difference, I guess, when it comes to the goals, 13-8. So ERNA living up to the expectation they set in the last quarter, and the Fury just slipping by one. Is there a player at all that's standing out for the Hawks at the moment?
I was just thinking that a lot of players are standing out for me. I think their defensive end is doing really well, but I'm really liking the wing attack. Was it Bernard?
Mm-hmm.
The work she's doing in attack. She's not doing anything, too fancy or specky. She's just, getting the job done, getting out on the centre pass and finding the shooters really well. So, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from her. But, yeah, the defenders are also shutting down the shooters. So
Grant and McLaren doing a fantastic job as a pair. So Jen Wright, their coach, won a championship last year with Manly and took them there to the grand final. Unfortunately, they lost by 1 goal to the Sutherland Stingrays in the first season of the Premier League, and now she's here with the Hawks tonight, a new team, and doing pretty well with them. If they can keep the score and the difference that they've got at the moment, the edge over the Fury, they'll make it 4 from 5.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things from Alison Miller about their coach. So, Ali said she just, has a lot of confidence in them and lets them play, with freedom. So Alison has been loving playing under her. I think last week she played goal attack and scored 26 goals from 27. So, and she just said she's loving it playing under her.
Now, I'm not sure if we've got a camera on them at the moment, but Em Keenan, their club captain's in a tracksuit with a hair and a ponytail and her back to us at the moment. And so is J. Ricard Bell. Those two players have been, very important for the culture at the ERNA Hawks. And Em Keenan's actually pregnant at the moment with, I believe it's her second bub. So great to see she's here supporting on the sideline and really getting into them with the coaching staff. She's almost become one of them.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things about Em Keenan. She's a lovely person, I hear. Haven't heard a bad word about her. She was in the Swiss environment a bit last year, and all the girls absolutely love her. So I can imagine she'd be great on the to have on the sideline for them.
So we're going to focus a little bit on A&L for you last year. You broke the record for the most goals in an A&L season, overtook Christina Bryce's record. We were speaking to her back in round 2 when we had her on the comments about it. So you shot 468 goals for the Western Sting. And I read an article where you were talking about Caitlin Bassett and how she really helped you improve your shooting while you were there.
Yeah, so through my WACE scholarship in WA, I got to work with Caitlin, and just going and having shooting sessions with her, and just having a chat. It was great to have her as a bit of a mentor as well, and it's nice to see her out on the court now as well. Seeing her the other week when
Lucky
we played
she's up the
Sunshine
other
Coast.
end.
Yeah, luckily I don't have to play on her, but it's really good to have someone like that who's now the Australian captain as a bit of a mentor for me, and someone that I've looked up to since I started really playing netball competitively. So it's nice.
In the same article, I was reading about how your dream at the time was to play for the West Coast Fever, and obviously they signed Janelle Fowler-Reid, and that sort of didn't leave a goal shooter position for you.
Yeah, no, I don't know why they signed her over me.
Are you happy here now with the Swifts?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And, Fever have been so good to me, and the whole of Netball WA were so... they're just happy to see WA players in the league, to be quite honest. And, yeah, I'm loving it now with the Swifts, and I couldn't be happier, to be honest. It would be hard for me to go back home at the moment because I'm just having so much fun with all the girls, and I think we've got a great bunch for future seasons as well, if we can keep together.
Yeah, it's a good point you make about they're happy to see Western Australia players just in the Super Netball League, because it obviously means their pathways are working.
Yeah, definitely. So they were very supportive about me, coming over here, and yeah.
And so you played in the coastal netball region around Fremantle. Do you have time to sort of keep up with what's going on with them?
Yeah, so when I went back for the long weekend, I went and watched them play. So, yeah, that was good. They've been really supportive as well. And, yeah, I still keep in contact with my coaches and stuff from there. So, no, it was such a good region to come up with quite a successful one. We lost the grand final actually last year, so not that successful. But
well, you still made the grand final. You were a finalist.
Yeah, no, it was a great club, and yeah.
And are you following them on social media? Because I am, and it seems like they've got some really good videos going up about their players.
Yeah, I actually haven't been following that closely, but I've seen...
they might be giving Net Chicks a bit of a run for their money.
Yeah,
so.
I know. They did a bit of a carpool karaoke with one of my friends, Olivia Lewis, her and Brittany Turnbull. So very interesting. They're trying to beat us, but don't worry, not as good. Net Chicks and chill, everyone.
YouTube, Instagram, or just YouTube?
Both.
Both.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We don't have Snapchat.
That's all right. That's just for the younger generation, isn't it? I mean, if you're really
Hey,
going
I'm not old. I'm young.
No. But you mentioned you're also appealing to an older network now too, so.
Yeah, we didn't mean to, but they seem to be loving it. Be interesting to see this quarter if the Hawks extend their league or if the Fury are going to
claw back.
Yeah.
It's a very different game to what we saw GWS play in round 4 on the Showcourt against CTS. In the first quarter, they were up by 7. At halftime, they were up by 9. At the 3-quarter mark, they were up by 13. And at full time, the difference was 17. So it was almost flipped on its head tonight and gone, opposite for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back next week. And now they'll have a bit of an understanding of what they've done to the Sparks too mentally.
Yeah, and it's interesting that because Sparks on paper have quite a good team with, people like Bell Friday and a few other A&L players in their team. So
hampered by restrictions at the moment, definitely.
Yeah.
But you're right, the Sparks have a great team. They were finalists last year. Unable to win the grand final, unfortunately. Fury working hard to push up. Lauren Wood's just waiting for the right time to pop out and find some space. She does that now. Ball out. Moses in wing defence has been someone that's impressed me tonight, coming up from Metro League, playing in the Premier League, helping out with all the A&L restrictions, and she hasn't looked out of place at all.
Yeah, definitely.
Switch sides, Marshall gives it to Cairns, but there's a challenge from behind from Talanoa. And it'll gift the Hawks free shot, free pass, which Bills uses to her advantage. 44-29. Oh, there's a change being made. We're seeing Veronica Juvic come back on and replace Bills. And that just attests to what we said about Juvic playing the first quarter and then coming off and being replaced by Bills just to get her some court time coming back from an ankle injury. Now they're so far in front, they can afford to give her some more court time.
Yeah.
Talanoa outside hand, but unable to pull it in, bats it out the side.
I feel like she could have pulled that one in with 2 hands, maybe.
I think she knew it too as soon as it happens. Little shake of the head. This time, she's read the play well. Intercept for the Fury.
Good transition.
A bit stagnant, almost waiting too late to start the run-up for the next phase of play. And Woods just offloads to McFadden. Oh, they're going to take that as the free pass, free shot. Woods with an opportunity. The difference, 14. Contact call outside the circle. Bernard feeding to Juvic. In front, away out. Oh, bubbles off the side. Ball's kept in play by... Oh, no, it's not. Throw in. Talanoa. Hands from Cairns. Fury move up the court. Running into each other, taking each other out. McFadden now looking to feed.
Oh, unlucky.
Marshall offside, unfortunately, as she grabs the ball. Too good to be true.
Just falling short there.
And Jess Grant and Laura McLaren have been great with their defence for the Hawks tonight. As soon as the shot being put up, they're turning their backs and getting ready for the rebound straight away, which just shows how experienced they are. Great feel for the game. Juvic offloads to Bernard and expects it back. A little bit of late contact. She finishes the job. 45-30, the difference now 15, 6.5 on the clock. McFadden able to run around and come forward. A man uses O'Keefe on the other side of the circle. O'Keefe trying to make something happen. It's not there.
Given the scoreline, Giants have, Fury have still come out strong in this quarter.
It actually took a moment for me to realise the mistake you'd made. You're right, the orange. And while we talk about Net Chicks and Chills, Sophie, these two clubs both have a great social media account. They've both got Instagram.
Ooh,
they do well on Facebook. They update everyone about what's going on with the team.
And they'll be able to give us a shout out.
Oh, that's right. But it's so important when it comes to Premier League for that information to be exposed, because obviously we're trying to gain momentum and support for this league.
Yeah, definitely. People, if they don't know what Suncorp is, they probably definitely don't know what Premier League is. So it's good to get that exposure and to show young girls what the pathway is when they're younger, and, you know, so they can start setting goals at where they want to be and, you know, where they want to play when they're older.
Well, certainly I know the Stingrays are their club, the Sutherland Shire Netball Association, is really trying hard to make people aware that they have a team in this league. They brought a whole bus full of people up the first or second game that they played on the Showcourt. I think it was the first game in round one. A whole lot of juniors and seniors came up to watch.
Yeah, I've definitely been seen working up at the front. A lot of young teams coming through, even coaches bringing young teams through, which I think is great, getting them to watch this level of netball.
Because you have to have something that sparks the dream, right? You can't be what you can't see.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy feed to Woods from McFadden. And she'll take it to the post. The bench is starting to get vocal all of a sudden. O'Keefe, strong pass straight to McFadden. No look, give to Mann. O'Keefe, top of the circle. Mann in the pocket. McFadden. Unfortunately, missed a lot of shots tonight. I think that just shows how dominant these ERNA Hawks defenders have been and the pressure they've applied. McLaren holding strong on O'Keefe. Turnover through the rebound from the Hawks. Up and over, that ball was probably too big to Cairns and might have held on to it a bit longer before she gave it away. 2.5 on the clock. What can the Fury do here? On a positive note, we've seen Lauren Woods get a lot of game time in this last quarter.
Yeah, it's good to for the young girls to be able to come up and, you know, experience the opens.
And maybe even more of a learning experience in a game that they're down. Because when everything's fine and dandy and you win, you get used to that and expect it to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Swifts took away a lot from last year's season?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's something that makes us so grateful about the wins this year and really appreciate them because it is so hard to get a win in the Suncorp League, and we really should be celebrating them. Last year the Swifts came so close, and it's nice that this year we can actually say we won rather than, oh, we only lost by, 2 or 3, because, last year that was an acceptable behaviour to say, oh, it's all right because we only lost, by 2 or 3, whereas this year...
You've set a new benchmark.
Yeah, and if we're not saying, oh, we only lost by 2 or 3, we're saying we lost by 2 or 3, we could have won that game kind of thing. So it's definitely a different mindset to last year. Not that I can say much because I wasn't there, but for what I've heard from the girls, it's definitely a different mindset this year, and Bryony's really instilling that belief in us that we can win and we can take it to the teams that have them big names in it.
So with 45 seconds on the clock, the Hawks are going to record a pretty emphatic win over the Fury tonight as they try to add another and make the deficit less so. But just quickly, while we've got your attention, the A&L finals are happening this weekend. We'll see the semis played on Saturday between the Vic Fury and the Canberra Giants, and also the New South Wales Waratahs up against the Tasmanian Magpies. So quite interesting in the last round of play last weekend in round 8. We saw the Vic Fury coming up against Tassie, which was a great matchup because it was 1v2 and a good showcase of what's to come in this final series. Victoria were far too strong in those matches. 55-44 they beat Tasmania in the first game, and 57-53 they beat them in the second. So that's all we have time for in the Opens Premier League here tonight. The Hawks 47-35. And just quickly before we wrap up what happened here on the Showcourt, please know that the finals will be broadcast live, and also that gold medal match on Sunday at 12:30. So tune into that, netball fans, because there's talent from all over the country participating, and we might see another Sophie Garben make her way into Super Netball as a result of these final series. We'll be back very shortly in front of the camera to wrap up round 5 of the Premier League. Massive win for the Hawks over the GWS Fury here tonight. Last week, the GWS Fury were, emphatic over the UTS Sparks, and that's been turned on its head in round 5. Sophie Garvin, who would be your standout player for the Hawks tonight? They were so dominant.
Yeah, the defense was really good for them, but I'm going to have to go with the wing attack. Was it Bernard? Yeah, I thought she didn't do anything too fancy, but she got the job done and worked really well feeding into the shooters. So, yeah, she'd be my standout for the Hawks.
And how about for GWS Fury?
Yeah, they had a very tough loss tonight. They'll have to go and think about that one. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the other wing attack, Man. I think she did a lot of work for them. So the 2 wing attacks for me tonight.
Sophie, thank you so much for joining us on Premier League and the commentary. We hope you come back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Any opportunity to plug NetChicks, right?
Yeah, NetChicks and Chill, get following.
All right, guys, don't forget that this week, as I mentioned, we have the ANL finals, semi-finals on Saturday and the final on Sunday. Come back next week, round 6, Premier League, right here on the Showcourt on Bar TV.